we began to get out of the relationship was the ability for our kids to see beyond, let's say, their community. Some people call them, zip code kids, because life is only, kind of part of their zip code, 21217. So, through it all, we did a number of things. I think one of the most touching things is something that we did last year, where I always mispronounce the name, so I have to be careful. We did postcards for Ashkelon, and I know, and that was a really powerful event. We'd heard about it on the media a little bit about what was going on, and that was at the time when there was some bombing and some terrorist activity, and so to speak. So we have core values, and we have core values that we study every month, like hope and compassion and so forth, respect, responsibility, and part of our struggle is how do we get kids to own that when there are already things that they're dealing with. And we took this kind of as a prime opportunity to say, well, we have this great, partner with the Baltimore Jewish Council. I think there's something that we can learn here. So I remember beautifully, we had all the 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th graders in the auditorium, and we said, how many love to go on vacation? So of course, all the hands go up, and we had found beautiful pictures because Ashkelon is a great vacation area. So we had pictures of the beaches, and we had pictures of hotels that they could stay in, and restaurants, and the people, and the kids were like, oh, I want to go there, so we were like, all right, we're going to catch a boat, we're going to leave the inner harbor, we're going to go across the ocean, and things of that nature. And then we kind of brought up the more modern day pictures of what was happening, particularly the skulls, and we were showing a skull that kind of had a shell over it, and we've shown how the bomb had reflected, so to speak, off the skull, and it kind of, I just remember the entire, from this euphoric, like, oh, great vacation place, to the kids were shocked, like they were just mortified that this could happen, so to speak. So what we did is we actually wrote postcards. So we took all of the core values, and our kids began to create messages about how they could, how does respect play into this? How does responsibility play in? How does hope, integrity, how are all these core values that we kind of put upon you to live up here in the school? How could you give messages of, a message of encouragement to somebody you don't know, but give them some sense of, people are thinking about them a half a world away. So,
and what do you think that meant to the kids?
It allowed them to see beyond themselves. I think to write to someone that they had no idea where this was going to. Their goal was to create a postcard that simply stated their message, and that we were going to give these postcards to some ambassadors, and these ambassadors were then going to deliver them to kids, to people, to individuals. They were going to, randomly post these messages from strangers, for our kids to embody and, to something larger than they are. And, and I think that's important because, like I said, many of the kids here struggle with their own, with their own lives. So for them to put that on hold for a minute, to think outside of where they come from, and to give that to somebody else, just like I said, it just really allowed them to internalize those core values. It allowed them to put someone else first, and I think that's critically important for developing a culture in a school where they begin to do those things. Those are the things that change your environment, when you're not so egocentric, and so to speak, and you begin to empathize with other people. It changes your words you say to people. It changes your actions that you say to people. And that just, it was very, very powerful. Good morning, Ms. Richardson. Huh? Are you going to lunch? What are you buying me? No, I'm good, but thank you. Tell her what grade you're in.
I'm in 3rd grade.
And who's your homeroom teacher?
My homeroom teacher is Miss Bailey.
Miss Baylor?
Say it real loud.
My homeroom teacher is Miss Bailey.
And what's your name?
Christian Tyler.
Oh, you're so cute. Okay.
And what's your name?
What's your name?
Jayla Ewing.
What is it?
Jayla Ewing.
Jayla Ewing. And you're coming here next year? You going to be a new pre-K student? Yep. So we've got a new student.